What is up, Eastern Oregon? This is Dazzy, and this is your sports show for Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. This is all brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. It's an awesome furniture store right here in LeGrand. On Elm, off Adams. It's a big red rocking chair. You can't miss it. Go check out their showroom, Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Sports. LeGrand Softball got 2 this last weekend. They're off until April 4th. The baseball team's currently in Arizona, and I have word from a couple parents that they're 3-0, and they're having a really good time down there. LeGrand is number 1 in the state on all the polls in baseball right now, and they're defending state champions. EOU sport-wise, the baseball team is at home versus BC this weekend. Doubleheader Saturday and Sunday, while the softball team hosts Carroll as well. Hopefully we get some games finally up at Peggy Anderson Field. Those games will be at 11 and 1 on Friday and Saturday. Enough talking. Let's get to the guests. Speaking of EOU baseball and softball, my first guest, he's the brand new coach of the EOU baseball team. It's Kyle Treadway. Here it is. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Kyle.
Awesome. So I guess we'll start it off right here. I always ask everybody this same question. How'd you end up at EOU? What brought you here?
Well, really unique circumstances. I think over the last couple of years, I've been really trying to search, for what my next step was going to be. I'm really passionate about pitching, but really passionate about baseball just in general. And so had decided that looking to become a small college head coach was something that I was interested in. And I'd heard about the situation here at EOU and how unique it was, and, kind of just put my hat in and to see how it would go. And then honestly, with the interview timing the way it was, I was kind of looking for reasons not to take it, like as you're prepping for season and, you're getting ready. We even played a weekend of games before I got out here, at Pacific. And, just kept hearing things that I liked, kept hearing, kept having positive experiences, kept meeting really cool people, kept enjoying the situation more and more the more I learned and the more I explored. And, when you see all the programs that win here and how much success they've had across the entire athletic department, it was a really big selling point for me. And, growing up in small town Oregon, I was used to that kind of lifestyle and had definitely assimilated to living, out in Hillsborough and out in Forest Grove area, which is a little more busy than it is out here, but kind of missed that small town lifestyle. And I think ultimately it was a really strong fit for what I wanted to do career goal wise. And then also from the vision of the athletic department. And then also, just you're out in the middle of a rebuild, you're in the middle of a build, I think starting from scratch and kind of just having a blank canvas to build a program was something that I was definitely interested in. So
Awesome.
All those things kind of align.
Perfect. Give us the Kyle Treadway short life synopsis up to this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So grew up in Southern Oregon, went to Phoenix High School, which is a 4A school as well. Because I know LeGrand number 1 4A baseball program here in the state of Oregon right now. So just grew up around small school sports, played football, played baseball, played basketball all the way up. Was never not doing anything athletic, right? There was just not a ton to do in my town. So that's just what I lived and breathed. And honestly, baseball had always been my passion. I'm a huge San Francisco Giants fan. So I used to, when I was like a little kid, I'd sneak up for Barry Bonds' third at bat. My parents put me to bed when I was like in first or second grade. And I knew when Bonds was about to hit because I keep track of the lineup in my head and the timing and stuff. So I'd sneak out to see if he'd hit another bomb. So, my dad never really got mad at me for that. So that was cool. So thanks, Dad, for that. I just I had a lot of success as an athlete in high school. Was fortunate enough to end up at Pacific University to play football and baseball. Recruited much more for football out of high school. I'm out of high school at 6'5", 250. So kind of a good body for a football player, but didn't get a ton of love on the baseball side. And thankfully Coach Greg Bradley had offered me a roster spot at Pacific and was a huge driving force in me, getting there. Obviously, the football program was awesome as well. Keith Buckley was a great head coach. Was really excited to join up at Pacific. But yeah, no, ended up playing football and baseball. Played baseball for 4 years at Pacific, football for 2. So that was kind of a unique journey. I played my freshman and senior year of football at Pacific, but learned a lot through both programs and both head coaches. And then played for Brian Billings my senior year as they transitioned head coaches in the baseball program. And then I was able to work for him as well for something like 7 years. So it was a really cool experience, playing for Bills and then also coaching with him and kind of growing up under that umbrella. And, got to work a lot of jobs when I first started coaching at Pacific. Started off as our assistant pitching coach, ended up being our head pitching coach, and then was the head JV coach, and then was back to being the Pacific or the pitching coach. And, just got to be in a lot of roles, got to do recruiting coordination, was the associate head coach for a year. So, it was really cool to have a lot of roles and be involved in a lot of areas. And it's really shaped who I am today. So,
right. So taking over this EOU Mounties baseball team, you come into, we're 2 years off of being back from, this is year 3, off of a, like 15-year hiatus, 17-year hiatus or whatever it was from not having baseball here. We're off to a little bit of a rough start, but let's look at it in terms of moving forward from here. What's the plan? What are the goals?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. When I took the job, obviously the timing wasn't great, but it never is. But I would also argue that this might be top 3 bad timings. But nonetheless, I think the odds were kind of stacked against us this year as it is, but we haven't made any excuses about it. And, I wanted to make it a big point of emphasis for our current roster that they understood that I was committed to them this season and wasn't just looking ahead towards just recruiting or moving on to the next season. We wanted to get the best out of this season, and we're still moving that way. Obviously our record hasn't shown a ton of success, but I think what we're doing week to week, you can definitely see growth from certain individuals. It's just as a unit, we haven't really meshed yet, on game day. We're in a lot of games. We just have a tough time finishing, and we'll continue to try to improve that and get better there. But in terms of long-term future, I just want to change kind of the developmental systems that are going on here and how that's organized. Really need to build a staff around young individuals who are really driven towards development and want to learn and want to take a position group and grind and get after it. Young individuals who want to recruit and want to get out there and see talented, whether that's high school athletes or junior college athletes who want to get out there and recruit. And so, those are kind of the main things. I think like you got to recruit like you have nobody coming back, and then develop like you have nobody coming in. Right. So, that's that's kind of what we're trying to transition. We've tried a lot of new things recently. And I think it'd be awesome to have kind of a full preseason and a full fall to kind of implement these systems rather than, I showed up on a Wednesday night, Thursday we had practice, and then we were playing a scrimmage against CBC on Friday. So it wasn't like, hey, this is what our culture is. It's like, hey, we play tomorrow. So these are some things I'd like us to try out, and I think I've been trying to go a little bit more like football offensive install for this season, where we're trying to add a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more each week, and try not to overwhelm them with 100,000 things the first couple of weeks. Right. So we're slowly trying to build within this season, but I think long-term vision, we need to raise the floor of the athlete that we have coming in here in terms of the talent level. And then we also need the right people who want to get better. And I think like that's really important, like that holistic development side, not just athletically, but academically, guys who want to be the best version of themselves and want to come in and work and are willing to be challenged. And we have a lot of those guys currently in-house right now, which is awesome. I think anytime you inherit a culture, you get a little worried like, hey, are these guys going to be bought in? Are they going to be good dudes? And they've been awesome. Our current roster has been awesome. They're really good communicators. They want to get better. They're hungry for that development. Like I said, it just hasn't transitioned to game day yet, but we're having great weeks of practice. We're going to hopefully continue to stack that over the off season and really get out there and recruit, and then really use this off season to build a staff. And then from that point on, really utilize this fall to set the foundation for the rest of EOU history. And that's just really where we're at, just chipping away one day at a time, drinking out of the fire hose a little bit right now, But
Yeah, a lot.
We're having fun though. We're learning a lot. I'll tell you that. I've learned so much in the last month than probably more than I have in the last 3 years. So
did you ever think you'd be in a position like this young in your career where you were taking a job with like 3 strikes against you already? I mean, like really, COVID messed everything up. You come into a job that is, I mean, basically in shambles. I hate to say it like that, but
no, it's okay.
It really is. And you're still fairly young in your coaching career, and you're already being handed the keys to a program that this is defining for you.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think I don't want to use we could use any excuse, right? We have all the excuses in the world to utilize here, but I think we have really great support from the community and our athletic department. And I think that's a huge momentum builder for us as we head into this season and into the off season. Angie's been awesome since day one. And obviously she's had a very busy schedule herself with her team going as deep as they did. And but through that process, she's been extremely honest and really open and really helpful for me in our program. And, I don't really want to use a lot of the excuses. I think we have good people in the building already. I think we have something to build off of. I think we're a lot closer to getting a field on campus than people think. I think we're a lot closer to taking a huge step from who we're bringing in each year than people think. And so, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just enjoying every single day and chipping away, and that's all we can do.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to sit and oh, woe is me. Things aren't going our way. We're not playing well, and we don't have these resources. And we've got a great situation at EOU with who we have in the building from an athletic department standpoint.
Absolutely.
And then the vision of our athletic director and what they want and what Angie wants out of our baseball program. So I think with those things and the right people involved, I think we can start gaining momentum and do the things that we want to do. It's just going to take a little time, and we have to be patient, and we have to redefine what success is this year and next year, compartmentalize small successes rather than, trying to, go win a conference championship or what have you. I mean, we're gonna be competitive every Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday. Like, we're not gonna mail it in, right?
Right.
We want to keep going out on game day and being the best competitive version of ourselves for that day. But the reality of it is we just haven't earned it yet, right? Like, that, and that's kind of the message for our guys right now is like, we want to go out there and win the big one, but it's like we need to go execute a first and third defense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rather than win a conference championship tomorrow. We need to know what the outs are when we're on the base paths.
Yeah.
We got to look at where the outfielders are positioning wise as we take our lead. You know what I mean? Like, it's those little things that we just haven't emphasized in the past year that's evident. And I think we're just trying to kind of do a full audit of what this program needs over this year and then attack it here this offseason.
I'll tell you what, if I was going to take over a job like this in the circumstances that you took over this job, I wouldn't want to do it anywhere other than EOU. The culture is up there at the athletic department is top notch. You're 100% right.
100%.
And it's not just the administrators. It's your other coaches too. They care about you.
Yeah, no, and that's what's been awesome. Obviously we've had a tough start. And I think in a lot of departments that coach is going to get isolated and people are going to be like, oh, he's got a tough job. We'll stay away from him. He's probably going to be grumpy. Other than that, no, it's been the exact opposite. I've got coaches come in every day checking in. Hey, what's going well? What's not? What do you think the problem is? Like, how can we help? And that's been awesome. And so it's definitely been different. I think I love my time at Pacific. But you had like you kind of had like a certain group of coaches that you were more close with there. But it wasn't like a whole department of people constantly checking in on you, saying hello, how can we help? And that's also what's great is our support staff here has been awesome. Our athletic training staff has been incredible. BA has been nothing but helpple. He's a rock star. I love seeing him every day. He's been great. So we're just having a lot of fun and it's been cool to have the support that we've had from our community. So
awesome. It's nothing but up from here, really. Right.
Sure.
I mean, what else? You can't really go anywhere else. And the big thing for me, I'm a huge fan of EOU sports. I'm a huge fan of baseball. I played college baseball.
Yeah.
I know the game, and I understand the nuances of college baseball. The big thing for me is when I see effort, I'm all in. You know what I mean? Like that's all I need to see is effort, and I'm seeing it right now. I'm here. I've talked to a couple of the players, and they're feeling better about things. That's enough for me. I'm bought in 100%. Right?
Well, until I make you upset, but that's okay.
Until
I decline an interview, that's when then everything.
I've never had somebody decline an interview.
Okay, there you go.
All the coaches trust me. I've never said anything bad about a coach. That's not my style. I'm not looking to
100%. I'm joking around, man. I'm joking around.
Eastern Oregon. He's EOU head baseball coach Kyle Treadway. I'm Dodzy. Kyle, I appreciate you. Thank you.
100%, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Let's go. Let's get this season turned around and let's start working. My next guest, she's a friend of almost 30 years. She's the head coach of the EOU softball team, Nicole Christian. Here it is. What's up?
Hey, Dodds.
Same. Let's see. We're 18-4, right? Is that right?
17.
Something right around there. I just had it. I mean, I just pulled it up. We are 17-8 with an 8-4 conference record, which I mean, that's a little bit more losses than I would have hoped for right now, but not much. I mean, I think we're coming together well. What's your take so far? We're 12 games into the conference. We just swept Bushnell over the weekend at home. What's your take so far?
I think we're finally starting to find our groove. You can go to Cali, you can go to some of those preseason games, but until you actually step in the Cascade Conference and get your toes wet for all of our newcomers between freshmen and JUCO transfers, that's huge for us. And then just trying to find the group that works together well, that's consistent, push and runs across the board. It's all about trying to find the identity. And right now, as coaches, we kind of really had to step back because we kept comparing last year because, of course, it was a huge year for us. And, and that's just not fair to our girls this year. And so that's right before Bushnell Conference. We really just started to focus on this team this year. We've got to take care of business, not worried about what happened last year. And I think finally we're starting to buy in. The girls are getting there. They're just starting to gel. The chemistry looks better, and that's what we could ask for, going in. We have a bye week this weekend with finals. Just a lot of good timing, which I'm excited for. They need a break. This conference is grueling, demanding. And so being able to just step away from softball is unheard of in the middle of the season, and get a couple days off before I feel like it's going to be one of the biggest weekends, almost 2 weekends, facing number 12 College of Idaho. Carroll's tough. They're getting some wins. They beat Northwest. They just battled with the Grizzly over in Montana. And then we have OIT the following weekend, and they're number 1 in the nation.
On the road.
Yep, on the road
this year.
And that's kind of been our thing this year. We just haven't been able to be on our field. We had to travel for Hermiston for a game, and we got to play on the city turf. Thank gosh, the city was able to put some turf down, and we were able to play some home games. And just the vibe alone, sleeping in your own bed makes a huge amount of difference for these young ladies. And so I think we're right where we want to be. We're not really stressed about it. We're starting to move forward and get our groove on.
Yeah, I'd rather be where we're at right now than with a target on our back, for sure. I mean, we already play in the toughest conference in the whole country. I mean, no doubt. And where we're sitting in that position where we're kind of on the, up on the perch, just waiting to strike, we don't have to worry about anybody striking at us right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was one of the things when I talked about last year is that no one really saw us as a threat. We just kind of snuck under the radar. And then I think it was about the last weekend, probably 2 weekends before season ended is when we actually got our first national ranking and teams started to realize, oh, hey, this team's not too bad. And so right now, still being in the top 25 all through the season is huge for us. And that's our goal, is to stay there, and we want to be at nationals. We feel like we're one of the best teams in the nation. And so we just have to kind of take care of business. But flying under the radar is really good. I mean, I'm good with that. Like you said, we want to go after College of Idaho. They can't lose to us. OIT can't lose to us. I feel like we hit and miss. We should have won Southern, and Southern's ranked 5th. So, we're right there. We can compete with the best. Coming out Tuesday, we want to take at least 1 and obviously go for 2 and get the sweep against College of Idaho on their field.
Yeah. I think last year the target went directly on our back as soon as we swept OIT at home.
For sure.
It's like, all of a sudden you go from, kind of on the outside looking into, you're a target now, right?
Yeah, we definitely were overlooked. And I know OIT beat us in extra innings last year at the Cascade Conference tournament, to get that bid. So we definitely want to come on their turf because I think a lot of things were said that the 4-game sweep should have never happened. And right now they're number 1. They've got the target. They've got all the pressure, and we'll gladly go down there and play them and hopefully add to that pressure a little bit.
So that's what, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks. So we go Carroll at home, not this weekend, but next weekend, and then we go to OIT.
Correct. Yeah, we're on the downhill stretch. We're about halfway through our season already, which is crazy. I think I can count all the days on my one hand how many times we've been on our field to practice.
And haven't even played one game on your own field yet.
Exactly. We haven't even been at home yet, which is crazy. That's what you live for. You love being in your dugout. You love having your own cubby. And if anybody saw our game against Bushnell, we had a carport for a dugout, just so we could have some coverage.
I told Carson that it looked like a homeless camp.
Hey, man.
Homeless camp softball.
Yeah, it did, but we came out swinging, so we were okay with it.
There's a lot of people there. There's a pretty good group of people there.
It was a great turnout. We had some fans go over and move some bleachers so they could sit out in right field on the sidelines. We had people around the back fence line. Good turnout for, a non-traditional home game, and not the best weather. It was kind of cold. We just haven't had that weather that people want to come out and sit and watch games through. So hopefully, this next month we get some more fans out. The weather starts lightening up and we get some good weather for that.
What is what's your favorite thing about this team this year?
Man, I think there's just so much personality that I'm still learning. I mean, last year, even by January, we had a good amount of newbies, and I kind of learned their personalities. But from the freshmen to the JUCO transfers coming in, they're filling in and becoming a part of the Mountie Nation family. And it's just learning those little quirks about them. They're just a great group of girls. They're gelling. They're starting to have fun together. We've got a great group of seniors. It's just fun to watch them. Same kind of thing. It's nice to be able to sit back and watch them and let them do their thing because they're fun to watch.
Yeah, I was telling the ladies, like, this was the first weekend I've really seen that energy. That energy, that energy that just kind of drives the game for you guys in the past. This was the first weekend I've seen it.
Yeah, for us too. And I think that's part of us just trying to find our individual role on a team. When you got a bunch of girls and fall and that's quick. And then you have your break and then you're inside and you don't get to do a lot of team stuff. And then game time comes to where, it's just trying to find what role do I have on the team? And then continue from that role. How do I get more playing time, or those girls that are starting, executing? And then if we have those key players we like to call them spark plugs, if we're struggling at the plate, who's my next person up that's going to light that fire for us and keep that fire going in the dugout. And that's huge. And I think that's probably been the big thing, is that we're starting to understand and starting to go in that positive way.
Nice. Okay, we talked about it a little bit, but what's the goal for this year? What are we talking about as a team?
We want to go back to nationals. We want to be at the final site. We definitely felt like we could have did more damage to OKC at their place. We had more fans. Our fans were awesome. We had opportunities to score runs when no one else really did all year last year, and we just couldn't produce those runs across the board to win that game. And so we definitely want to get back. Obviously, first step is CCC tournament. You got to be in the 6. And so we're sitting in, I think, in that 4 hole right now, but it's tough. UBC's got a new coach. They've got some key players they added. I expect them to pick up maybe a couple of wins or here against the teams they haven't faced yet, especially the ones ranked in the top 25. Again, Carroll's tough. Corbin's starting to pick up again. And you just look at those teams. Northwest is at the top again. And so there's really 7 that are only a couple games apart. And right now I think OIT's sitting at 10-1, and maybe Southern's at 8-1. So they've got a couple game, and then College of Idaho's right behind them, and then us. Right. And so just getting those games and continue to win those games that we need to win for the teams below us to keep us in that top 6 first to get the conference, and then go play some conference ball and know it's tough. It's one game and move on, or then you drop to the loser bracket and 2 you're out. And so we definitely want to be back at nationals. We feel like we deserve to be there, but we've got to execute on our end to get there.
Absolutely. Eastern Oregon, she's EOU head softball coach Nicole Christian. I'm Dodzy. Coach Christian, I appreciate you.
Thanks, Dodds.
Thanks, Nicole. We're off to a good start. We got a lot to own up to after last season. Let's go make a national title run. None of this is possible without Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Just go check out their showroom and complete that circle. They help fund me to bring this stuff to you, and then you guys go shop with them. That's kind of how it works. Northwest Furniture and Mattress right here in LeGrand. Eastern Oregon, that's all I got for you on a Wednesday. Hump day. I'm Dodzy. I appreciate you. I'm out.